In this, our first of 3 tutorials for looking at using Copilot to create and analyze surveys, we'll begin by going to Microsoft 365 and using Microsoft Forms to create a survey to collect information. You can build a form from scratch, but in this instance, we recommend using one of the templates that's provided. In this example, I'm going to use the template for a new technology evaluation form. Clicking on the template loads a form that you can use, and I'll begin by closing the rest of the templates on the left-hand side so that we can see our form more clearly. The first thing I want to do is to change the title to Using Copilot Survey, and I'll go on to modify some of the fields that appear in the form. The default image is a bit bland, so we'll click on that to delete it, and I'll then click on the image icon next to this. Insert image. Rather than uploading, I will search for an image of Copilots on Bing. When I've found one that works, I'll use it as the default image, add it to our form. Once it's uploaded, I can then edit it to change the size, in this case to make it large. Beneath this, we have 3 options regarding whether people use Copilot: yes, no, and maybe. I want to change maybe, which sounds a bit mysterious, to don't know. When I click on this, it brings up the label field. I'll change the text here. Underneath this are a series of radio button options allowing people to compare Copilot to alternative products. There are several elements here, such as brand awareness, hardware capability, software experience, and quality assurance that I want to keep, but the others simply add unwanted data. As such, I'll click on each of them in turn, then delete the ones that I don't want, and finally click off this option. The next option, once more, asks a user to click radio buttons where only one of these can be selected in order to answer the question: how well would this product provide a solution for you? I'll leave this one as is, but I'll point out that for all of these scales there are 5 options. It's always recommended that you have 5 or 7, an odd number, which allows people then to select a neutral or balanced view between positive and negative. Beneath this, I'll leave the text box "What are the first words that come to mind when describing your feelings about this product?" as is, as well as "What challenges do you face when using it?" This is a larger text box that allows somebody to provide a more extensive detail as an answer. I'll also leave in place the scales from 1 to 10 regarding how frustrating the product is, but I'm not interested at all in capturing images and screenshots being uploaded, so I'll click on this box and at the very top, delete the entire option. With our final question in this section, how likely are you to recommend us to a friend or colleague? I just want to point out that in both these scales, the higher number is affirmative to the question: more frustrating or more likely to recommend. Be careful when you switch from an affirmative to a negative on a scale, as this can confuse respondents. We then go on to the second section, About You. This gives a number of questions which I want to keep, such as: what is your proficiency level with technology? What gender do you identify as? And what is your age? These are generally fairly standard questions. If you wish to modify these, you can simply click on them and then either delete or add other options. In this tutorial, I'll leave in place which industry are you employed in, but I don't want to collect information in terms of a person's occupation. So again, I'll click on this and click on the delete button. We'll leave the question asking in what country a person lives, as well as the option of engaging them in future search, where someone can enter their email if they so wish. We've created our survey that we want to use, but before we actually make it available, we'll explore some of the suggested options for customizing the layouts. Going through, I rather like this one for a background, so I'll keep this. But when going through other layouts and styles, the default one will work best in my opinion. Once this is all done, you can also then click on Settings to allow people outside your organization to fill in the form, and I'll also allow respondents to save their responses. It can be very useful to show a progress bar to give somebody an indication of how much further they have to go through the forms. I'll save those settings and then click on the Preview button, and this shows what our form looks like. You can check how it looks on both computer desktop and also then on mobile, with a sense of what the form will look like as somebody runs through it. Once that's all ready, click on Back, and you'll be able to collect responses. Because in this case I've selected that anyone can respond, I can just copy and paste the link. You can also send it to particular people, adding their email addresses, as well as a short message. I want to shorten the URL, and then I'll copy a link. I'll just show you what this looks like when we paste it into the browser, which brings up our survey. As you can see, creating a survey in Microsoft Forms is incredibly easy. In the next step, we'll show you how to collect all your responses that have been made and then use Copilot in Excel to analyze some of your results.